The contrast between the title of the video and what I'm about to say is going to throw you off greatly. Music is a great tool for you to get some momentum in the things that you want to do. Momentum is a very important thing to do things that have a barrier, right? Let's say that you want to go take a cold shower, but you're stressed about it. You put some upbeat music and you're feeling in the mood and you go for it, right? And you get on there. Let's say it's the same for a run or maybe a PR and you're waiting for the drop to come in. And thanks to that, you manage to maybe manifest more strength out of yourself than under normal circumstances you would have been capable of doing. However, there is an underlying problem that's not spoken about enough about music, which I've heard of recently, and I did some research and I did some experiments on myself, as I always do, which came to be true, like as an observation. So what the problem with music is, as we rely on it to do other things, there is the general thing of what happens when you take it away, sure. But more importantly than that, you take the joy away from things. Let's say, again with cold showers, let's say that you're going to take a cold shower and that you're doing it to benefit your body, because you want to be healthier, because whatever reason that you have. Man, I'm dying. That's wonderful. Great reasons, right? Let's go with you're doing it because it's good for your body. Obviously, you don't want to have a bad experience in anything that you do in life. You want life to be generally positive. As you're getting in the cold shower, you do not enjoy the cold shower. What you really are enjoying is the accompany of the music, and you become dependent of it. Now you take the music away, it is no longer an enjoyable task. On a deeper level, what this means is that the actual figure of enjoyment is directed and dependent on that one thing. Let's say you go to work out because you enjoy it, right? Because it feels good and it is good for your body, whatever. And then you go to the gym and you're pumping some weight, pumping some iron, but you're listening to music. And you listen to music each time to have a good workout. The problem with this is that your joy now comes from the music. If you become bored of the music, the workout itself is less enjoyable. And even when you are listening to music, the workout also slowly becomes less enjoyable. If from a first place you trained yourself to be at peace with just doing the exercise without music, and you based your standard on doing it that way, the workouts will feel healthier, more pleasant once again. If you've been going to the gym for a while, like I have, you've probably seen a tendency where your motivation spiked and then went down, maybe it went back up, but usually the first year or so is when you saw the greatest changes in strength, size, and when it was overall a better experience. And then it was a slower increase, which started stagnating, and you were still healthy and strong and had more stamina, but it was not the same. We base our joy little by little on the music. Now, another problem with it is that we are never in silence. We never have a quiet moment. I talk about this a lot on my channel, but when you don't have any quiet moments, you will not generate or create anything. To be productive is to produce. But if you're always consuming, be it sounds, be it images, be it whatever, you will not be capable of producing things. At least not original things. And look, let's take the example of playing music. I like to compose things, right? Even if I don't put them out or whatever, for myself. I don't hope to make anything new. I know that most of my things are influenced by singers that I may listen to, and likewise for many other artists. And to plagiarize, I think that's the word, but it's more for writing. So to copy somebody else is not necessarily bad. But in the joy of creation and of making something, you want to have original work. It is more fulfilling, because you otherwise will recognize whether or not it is somewhat copied, and you don't want people to compare it. And in the first place, apart from the viewpoint of a creator, you want to do things your own way. You want to make sure that your actions are done out of truth and not out of being led, like leading questions. And you're not led into anything, but rather you are choosing to do the things that you want to do. You wouldn't want to live a life in which you were living it in accordance to a specific rule set that was made for you. And the problem with music extends beyond music itself. Look at what happens. Again, we use this as a way of dealing with the silence, right? Dealing with ourselves. We are so uncomfortable nowadays, and you see it in society in many different shapes and forms, how we are uncomfortable with ourselves. And we cannot stand just being there and existing. We have to have something alongside. We get to a queue and we can't just wait a little while longer, maybe look in front of us or speak to another human being that is besides us. We have to check our phone because there's a update on our settings. So, bro, no, right? Or if you are waiting for the toilet, anything of the sort, we have the tendency of not being able to just do an activity. And if you want to produce something of high quality, you need immersion. And to attain immersion, it's much feasible if you are set aside from everything else. Now, there are variables to this rule. For example, the right music may put you in the right mood. Let's say you were doing some sort of play and you had to come out passionate and aggressive almost, and there was this music playing in the background that helped you be that way. Sure, but for how long? Because on the other hand, let's say that there is some work that you need to do. You're trying to write a book and you're there focused and you're writing. How fitting is the music going to be to the writing that you're doing, and for how long? Because the music changes as your mood. But instead, if you cultivate the ability of actually doing this with yourself and not depending on the external things, you in yourself will develop an ability like nobody else to produce high-grade material work, products, anything. I have a Discord server where we recommend each other things or we talk about whatever. And I have a friend that's messaged me telling me that he's recently gone on a walk with our headphones and it's something he's starting to try to get into. Without music, with anything. And so it's the first time he's done it in years, and he said that he felt amazing just listening to the sound of nature or whatever. And he even sent me like a voice note, right, when he was saying it, instead of typing. Because, bro, you're walking around, you don't want to be... You're just walking, so you do your voice. I liked it. I liked listening to him. I was happy he did that. In contrast to how a lot of people now, can't even walk outside, commute to the gym, to the work. I understand the whole of productivity, but there is a line that a lot of us cross between productivity and just not doing things in a correct way intrinsically. Productivity, sure, maybe you're commuting to work or to the gym, you're listening to an audible, not some music, maybe. But there is enough wisdom in the world that sometimes you could generate in your own head, but you would require to be in your own head, not listening to somebody else. And maybe you observe a certain scenery that enlightens you and creates this idea that you wouldn't have been capable of formulating if you had been listening to that audible. Anyway, there's a fine line. A lot of us traverse it. If you are driving, however, you are already focused on driving, so your attention is going into that. Maybe in that kind of case, it's fine. But if you're walking or doing something that's otherwise super automatic, for example, walking, yeah, that's good enough. Then it's understandable. And if you're not trying to improve that skill, like walking, then that's fine. If it was a skill that you were trying to improve, however, let's say that you're in the gym and you're trying to do a certain acrobatic thing. If you're trying to improve the skill and you've been doing it for some time, so now you think that you're good enough to do it multitasking with another thing, what will happen is that you will chase two birds and get either one of them and let the other escape, or neither of them. So you will either be listening to the book and underperforming and habituating your body to do something wrong in the whatever movement you were doing, or the other way around, you will be focused on the movement and not really paying attention, and in any case just hindering both to mediocrity. Look, multitasking is just very dangerous to play along, so I would suggest not to do it overall. This video idea was recommended by a viewer on Discord. He said to me that it would be something good to speak about, and I agree. If you have anything like that, you could always do it. I am doing self-promotion, that's right, yeah. And what? I believe the space we are creating together is a really good place. And I would love to see more people join. So join the Discord, link in the description. A place for growth, for encouragement, and everything in between and above. Strive to be 1% better every day, and much love. Quick reminder to fix your posture and take deep breaths into your diaphragm from your nose.